What's up, guys? Training 148, and today we're going to go over man-to-man defense, but specifically cover one.
Little shoulder fake to throw it deep. Cochran floats it up here for Davis in a triple coverage, and he comes down.
On 2nd and 10, Clemens pass near side of the field is caught.
Airing it out, showing off the arm. What a catch. Touchdown, Geremy Davis.
Cover one defense, dog, man-to-man. A defensive coordinator's probably favorite coverage in regards to like ego, man. They want to say, yo, we have the defensive backs to lock up your receivers, so bring it. And I would think a defensive coordinator would love to run man-to-man coverage, especially if you have a high IQ free safety, an athletic free safety that's good from getting the sideline to sideline and really good at playing chess with the opposing team's quarterback. You got guys like, obviously, Ed Reed, Troy Polamalu. I mean, even shout out to Eric Berry, Ronnie Lott, man. These are the type of free safeties you will love to have in a cover one defense. As well as your defensive backs, your cornerbacks, you would love to have a Darrell Revis, a Deion Sanders, a Darrell Green, a Mel Renfro, just to say, yo, mano y mano, let's play ball, let's lock up. But for right now, let's talk about cover one and the pros and cons of cover one. Now, cover one, guys, again, is simply just man to man. Now, remember, like I told you guys in the last video, whenever you break the huddle, the first thing I want you guys to do is identify the safety structure. Is it one high? Is it two high? And just like we said in the last video, if it's one high, expect some type of cover one, which we're explaining today, or cover three. If it's too high, expect some type of cover two, cover four, cover six, cover eight. And I didn't mention this last time, but if you see nothing on the back end, expect some type of cover zero, which we will get to in future videos. So let's talk about the pros and cons of cover one, with the first thing being, yo, it is super helpful in run support because there's only one safety deep. We're able to put more people in the box to defend the run. So that is the first thing we like about cover one. And yes, I understand you want to talk about it from a passing perspective, but that is of value in the run game as well. The second thing is cover one scheme allows for aggressive blitz packages. Now backers are able to stunt and do what they want, as well as D linemen are able to TE, do all these things on the front end, hoping that we have efficient coverage on the back end in our man-to-man coverage, that if we do these stunts or these blitzes, we can get there. Thirdly, I think man-to-man coverage gives you the best option as a defense to disguise what you want to show. So again, you can start off in two high, rotate to one robber. You can show cover three, then come down and play cover one. You can show zero on the back end. Free safety can run to the middle of the field. A lot of flexibility in disguising coverage. And lastly, it's very, very simple. Again, man-to-man coverage. I'm on this guy, I'm on this guy. Now, if we want to get complicated, that could start some confusion when you start talking about banjo, and then do you want a lock versus bunch, or do you want a top hat? But again, we'll get to that in future videos. Now let's talk about some cons. One, I would say it can cause matchup issues. Now, hopefully you have a defensive coordinator that knows if I don't have man-to-man defenders, I'm not gonna force us to play man coverage. Now, sometimes certain scenarios in the game might force a person to play that hand, but you will hope that you don't have to. But if you're not a man-to-man type team, you're vulnerable to get exposed. And in saying that, the second thing is cover one is more vulnerable to big plays, man. What are some things we can do to attack cover one? Crossing plays, go routes. And you gotta understand, as a corner is probably the second hardest position to play from a physical standpoint. IQ, we could say quarterback, but corner, you also got to be smart as well. But man, chasing a guy all the way across field on crossing routes, trying to maneuver against mesh routes, very, very tough. So it is vulnerable to big plays. Thirdly, I would say it's an increased stress on the secondary because, like I said, it's a high risk, high reward thing if you want to start to put in blitz packages with it. So if you're doing a TE stunt by the D line, or you're trying to send some edge pressure with the Sam and the Mike or something like that, and it doesn't get there, you're trying to tell the defender you have to cover for more than 3 to 6 seconds, which no one can hold for that long. Overall, I think cover one can be an effective scheme when executed well, but you know what I'm about to say. Let's get to the tape. So right here, we have the Minnesota Vikings playing against the Los Angeles Rams, and right now it's 2nd and 8. And we see that right now the Rams are 11 personnel, so the Minnesota Vikings again are matching them with a nickel personnel, which is just 5 DBs, 2 linebackers, 4 down linemen. Now, right now, let's see some of the tendencies that show that, okay, maybe this team is in cover one. Right now, if we look at the bottom, we can talk about his body position or his mannerism are showing a cover one position. Right now, he's locked into the receiver saying, hey, man, I got you man on man, one on one. Now, remember, I said cover one has more flexibility to disguise in coverages. So in reality, if he wanted to show press right here and then bail to play cover three, he surely can. But obviously, the purpose of this video is to show cover one, and it's obviously cover one. But right now, his body language is showing, again, that it is cover one. How else can we tell it's cover one? Again, single high safety is another tendency to show right there, as well as if we look at all these receivers in this 3-by-1 formation, which when I was on the Chargers, we used to call it crowd left, solo tight end backside attached with 3 receivers to the right. We see that you have all corners on this side. So the corner decides to come and follow to the opposite side of the field. So right now we got Shaquille Griffin on Robinson, man to coverage, man to man. We have Byron Murphy against Cooper Kupp, man to man, as well as Stephon Gilmore and this receiver, no disrespect, not sure who this was, playing man to man coverage. That's another tendency. But also, if you look across the field, who was Harrison Smith guarding? He's guarding tight end. So we see him be man to man on here. So right now we see that all the defenders have a man responsibility on all eligible receivers. But now the question might come is, yo, what about these two backers here? What are their responsibilities? Great question. So right now, there's a few things that the backers can do right now. They can play like a banjo coverage on the running back. So what I mean by that, their responsibility is to guard Kyren Williams. Now, if Kyren Williams wanted to come out this way, then it would be this Mike's responsibility to play Kyren Williams in man-to-man coverage. And vice versa, if Kyren Williams went this way, it would be this backer's responsibility to play him in man coverage. Or what they can do is they can solely say, hey, this backer right here, you have responsibility for Kyren Williams. Now, it's a couple things that Kyren Williams can be doing right now. Kyren Williams could be standing and scanning the defense. Is Sam or Mike coming? So right now, if he sees that they're not coming, he's going to get into his route, which is a flat or some type of check down, so on and so on. Now, if he were to stay in and protect, then it's the backer's responsibility to insert and now go try to get a sack, disrupt the zone capacity. But with that happen, now the question might be, okay, so what's this homie's responsibility right here? Another good question. His responsibility at this point, man, now he's just following the eyes of the quarterback and he's disrupting anything that comes across the middle. We call this like one hole. He is now disrupting any type of crosser, mesh, deep cross here, and just trying to collide and reroute and just see where the quarterback, or Matt Stafford in this case, where's his eyes going. So, again, if we look at it, running it back, safety responsibility, hold back in, single high safety. Shaquem, responsible here. Byron Murphy, responsible here. Stephon, responsible here. Harrison Smith, responsible here. And you guys can banjo right here with Kyren Williams. He's going to leak here. Your responsibility is to defend him there. And now this guy has the middle of the field. So now let's see this play out in its totality. So right now, again, we see body language. Body language is showing cover one across the board. But what is another tendency, again, to give me that final assurance that it's cover one? Let's see. We see Stephon Gilmore, boom, is following his man to the opposite side of the field. Now, again, like I said, cover one has the ability to disguise really well. So some teams will send corners over, but still end up playing like cover two. When I was at the Chargers, we used to call that 2Z. So they still can, but again, everything right now is showing us that it's cover one. So right now we see everyone match up against the specific defender, or a specific receiver, excuse me. Now, what did we say that cover one is weak against? Go balls, meshes, crosser routes. I mean, crosser routes, dog. I want you as a cornerback to follow me all the way across the field. All the way across the field. And again, bro, that is super tough to do. Again, corner is probably the first to second hardest position to play. I would say one in terms of physical ability, like the chase. Second in terms of IQ, that's to the quarterback. But right now, vulnerabilities, crosser, meshes, go balls. So right now, we pause again. Let's think about this from a quarterback standpoint. Right now, Stafford is scaring the defense. He sees that it's cover one. We stop it right here. We got Byron Murphy that's on Cooper Kupp. Byron Murphy's a solid corner, just got paid coming from the Arizona Cardinals. Cooper Kupp is a good receiver, but it's like, okay, maybe I don't want to test Byron Murphy. He's not the weak point of the defense. Look at Harrison Smith, all pro. Maybe I shouldn't test Harrison Smith. And Stephon Gilmore, older. I still think he's very, very savvy as a vet. Maybe I don't try him. But at the bottom, we see Shaquille Griffin. Shaquille Griffin used to be a really good corner for the Seattle Seahawks back in the day, and he was solid with Jacksonville, but now he's kind of on the back end of his career. Matthew Stafford says, you know what? I found who I want to attack in this man coverage defense. Denard Robinson, go ball, which is one of our vulnerabilities. We see touchdown. Now let's look at the route itself. So right now, as I train receivers, I always say, guys, attack an edge, attack his leverage, or attack one body frame outside the defender because we don't want to play in this box, pause, but we don't want him comfortable just in one spot. So we got to move him off his line. The second thing, I always ask receivers, man, who are you racing against when you do your releases? Some say, I'm racing against the corner. I say wrong. They say, I'm racing with the quarterback. I say wrong. Who are we racing against when we're doing our releases? You're racing against the rush. And why is that? You're never going to see a Khalil Mack, a Nick Bosa, a Michael Parsons split release when doing a rush. No, they're going upfield now. So I always tell receivers, man, when you figure out what leverage, where you're attacking, whatever your plan is, do it while going upfield because you don't want to be behind in the race. Now, I'm not saying it has to be like aggressive, like get 2 yards upfield, make you move. Unless they're playing some type of motor technique, then yes, close that space. But you just want to be moving upfield to a degree. I don't specifically myself like teaching split releases or going backwards, with one exception. If it's a quick jam, I totally understand. Or if you have a really aggressive corner who's just kind of sitting there and they're pirouetting their steps, maybe split release. But I'm very hesitant to teach that because I don't want us losing the race to the rush. But right here we see Robinson do a great job attacking outside his frame. Right here, I can see his shoulder, which shows you got outside of his frame, which is amazing. And boom, opens up. Now, that step is hard to recover from. Now, the only thing I would say, and I'm being super picky, dog, I would want Robinson just to kind of close that space a little bit more and try to stack a little bit early. But again, NFL, the game moves fast, man. So this is still a win. As we saw, he scored a touchdown. And right now, at some point, he's going to have to stack. He's going to have to stack. Be careful extending that arm. He got away with this one. But you got to stack, which I think he did a good job stacking, getting on top, and scoring a touchdown, man. So again, guys, that is cover one. We're talking about the pros, the cons, what cover one is susceptible to. And I hope you guys put this in your toolbox and stay tuned for the next coverage video of Training 148. Please like and subscribe. Peace.